What do you think is the most popular transportation on campus? Someone might choose the car, which is most comfortable, safe, and fast mode of transportation. Somebody might be a fan of the motorcycle, which is easy to park and access to most of the area of campus. For me, I will definitely choose the bicycle. Bicycle is so popular on campus. Students go for a school on their bicycle. Workers talk with their friend on their bicycle. Professor is also a bicyclist when they after class go back to the home. Bicycle is so popular, even the animal can ride right now. It's really cute, isn't it? If the bicycle is that popular on campus, that means the bicycle safety problem is also a big issue on campus. So I take a little experiment on campus. I walk from the Illinois Union to the undergraduate library and take photo with the problem I see with my phone. Here's the result. There's so many problems so that my phone is already out of storage to take all the photos. Why there's so many bicycle issues on campus? Either someone or some department can solve all the problems for us, and then we can have a safe place to ride the bicycle. So I bring all the questions to the police department on campus.
My name
The
is
officer Christopher Hawk answered some
I'm a police
questions
officer
for
at the
me.
University of Illinois Police Department, and I've been employed here since April of 1996. So I'm about to hit my 20th year here at the police department. Oh, bike safety problems. There are a lot of issues related to bicyclists and motorists and pedestrians. And it all boils down basically to sharing the roads and sidewalks. Bicyclists have to operate their bicycles lawfully, within the realm of the legal constraints, and they have to share with motorists, they have to share with pedestrians, motorists have to share with everybody, and pedestrians have to share with everybody. If you're riding on the street, you have to act as if you're driving a car. All of the same traffic laws apply to a bicyclist on a street as they would to a car. So riding the right direction in the lane, not going the wrong way on a one-way street, stopping at stop signs, stopping at red lights, signaling turns or intended changes in your path. Those things are stuff that have to be done when you're riding. You shouldn't wear earbuds in or headphones because you can't do that when you're driving a car either. If you're riding on the sidewalk, you're considered a pedestrian and you have to obey the same pedestrian laws that someone walking along would. That means paying attention to the walk and don't walk signs. The bicyclist also has the additional responsibility of yielding to pedestrians on the sidewalk. So if you're riding along and someone steps out in front of you, you're required to stop and yield to that person. Riding on the sidewalk puts the bicyclist at a big disadvantage. And it's actually safer to ride legally on the streets than to ride on the sidewalks. Bike lanes are an accommodation that have a lot of controversy attached to them. My personal philosophy is that you should ride in the road like you're a car. Okay? And there's nothing at all wrong with riding down Green Street just in your lane. There's room for cars to go around if they want to. If there's something that's blocking the turn lane or something, the bicyclist can ride in the middle of the lane. It's called taking the lane. And they can make that lane for them. The bike lanes along First Street, along Goodwin, along like Lincoln Avenue, those bike lanes are there to help bicyclists who aren't as comfortable riding in the street. But I am not required to ride in that bike lane. If I'm riding down First Street, I'll ride in the traffic lane rather than in the bike lane. At night especially, visibility is a huge issue, and that's also pretty common that you would think that bicyclists riding in rain or snow are a big issue with visibility also. With that, headlights are a problem. Retroreflective clothing helps be seen. Anything contrasting that you're wearing is making it easier to be seen. So there are a lot of things bicyclists do that can make it easier for them to travel, but At nighttime is a big issue, and then during the winter when it's snowing or raining is also a problem. Bicycle injuries can be very devastating. People talk about bikes, I give my 5-year-old kid a bicycle. It's a toy. But that changes as you get older, when you ride recreationally, when you ride as a commuter, trying to get back and forth across campus. The injuries change based on what you're doing. People get hurt typically because 1 or 2 or more people make mistakes while the bicyclist is riding. Some of the basic ways that people get hurt is just simply falling off the bike. And that's the number one way that a bicyclist gets injured, is simply a fall. And that can be caused by a lot of different things. The second way people get injured is getting hit by a car or getting hit by another vehicle or bicyclist or pedestrian while you're riding around. Car versus bicycle crashes for adult cyclists tend to be caused more often by the motor vehicle operator, doing things that are not paying attention to the bicyclist. The best way to avoid those crashes is to ride with a very good awareness of traffic around you and being prepared to get out of the car's way if it gets in front of you. But basically it's people get hurt because either a car driver pulls out in front of you or the bicyclist isn't paying attention and hits a curb and falls off, those kind of things. Bicycle parking is difficult.
Yeah.
Campus parking has rules and regulations for bicycles, and you are not supposed to park your bike and lock it to chains or trees or traffic signs or things like that on campus. You should park it and lock it in a bike rack. I've seen a bicycle chained to the arm of the sculpture on the south side of Granger Library. Somebody thought that that was a good idea, and it wasn't. But bicycles are required to be parked in parking racks, bicycle racks on campus. If they are blocking access to handicapped ramps, if they're blocking access to a building, if they're parked in a way that interferes with pedestrian traffic, the locks can be cut and they will be removed. Well, bike theft is an ongoing problem. It has been a significant issue as long as I've been a police officer here. Our department has taken several proactive steps using bait bicycles, using registration programs, trying to do education on how to lock a bicycle properly, and yet the bike thieves keep coming back because it's a very fluid community. The same people that we teach about locking your bike properly this year are gone in 1 or 2 or 3 years, and then we have to teach next year's people how to do it. And if we don't keep that cycle going, or if people don't listen to the message, then bikes are locked improperly or cheap locks are used. And then you have kids constantly coming in who are either vandals, they just want to trash a bike, or they steal one because it's handy, ride it a couple blocks and dump it. And then see, there's a lot of issues there, but bicycle theft is a problem. The number one best way to avoid it is to get a good lock and use it properly when you're riding. We have, like I said, bait bicycle programs where we'll stick a bicycle out that's relatively nice and have either a cheap lock on it or no lock, and then we'll have officers in the area who are just watching that bicycle. Somebody comes along and gets on it, starts to ride away, boom, you get them. Just 3 weeks ago, it was before Thanksgiving break, one of our officers in the middle of the night was watching some suspicious people on the quad and caught 3 bicycle thieves in the act. And caught all 3 of them. They didn't happen to be students. They were young people from the area that came here to steal a bike. But we recovered 3 stolen bicycles and the bike that was being stolen at the time. So yes, we do catch them. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's by design. But we don't catch everyone. One big issue we have with prosecuting bike thefts is not knowing the owner of the bicycle. And that's where registration comes in. Okay, if your bicycle is registered, we can contact you and say, did you tell Bob Smith he could take your bike? No, I don't know Bob Smith. Great, then we have a victim and we have the thief. Many times we'll catch people that are carrying around 2 or 3 bicycles, have obviously stolen them, but we have no way of knowing who the owner is, so we can't prosecute those people for theft. But if they're caught, if we identify the owners, then it becomes an issue for the court system. They could either be put in jail for a year, put in prison for a couple years, put on probation. It just depends on what the court system and prosecutors do. The best suggestion I can give is to ride your bike.
At the end, the Officer Hawk gave us a lot of good advice about how to ride safely. Basically, what he wants to say is that to be careful when you riding is the best way to protect yourself.